What does the Bible reveal about the future? Are we closer than we think to the final prophecies? The Word of God is much more than a spiritual guide. It is also a book that unveils the great mysteries of the future. Many might ask, what will truly happen in the final days of humanity? What if the events we see in the world today are just the beginning of the fulfillment of biblical prophecies? Could the current earthquakes, wars, and climate changes be a prelude to something much greater? Before we answer these questions, I invite you to subscribe to the channel Biblical Tales and Prayers. There, we delve into the teachings of the Bible and discover how to apply them to our lives, especially in these challenging times. Together, let's explore God's promises and warnings and uncover what the future holds. What is yet to come according to the Bible? The Bible is filled with prophecies. From the Old Testament to Revelation, we find detailed descriptions of future events. In His sovereignty, God revealed the end from the beginning, allowing us to know what is in store for humanity. But what exactly does the Bible tell us about what is coming? 1. The rise of a global system. In Revelation 13 verses 7 to 8, we read about a global system led by a powerful figure known as the Beast. This figure will be worshipped by many, and his authority will be unquestionable. An economic system will be implemented in which no one will be able to buy or sell without the mark of the Beast. Revelation 13 verses 16 to 17. Today, technology is advancing toward this possibility. With the digitalization of currencies, such as the digital yuan and cryptocurrencies, we are increasingly moving closer to a globally controlled economic system. Advances in biometrics and microchips are paving the way for a society where identification will be essential for all transactions. The question remains, how will Christians respond when this moment arrives? 2. Wars and rumors of wars. Jesus warned in Matthew 24 verses 6 to 7 that you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. He also said that nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Global conflicts have been increasing in frequency and intensity. In recent years, we've seen escalating tensions in the Middle East, rival nations stockpiling nuclear weapons, and even fears of a third world war. However, these conflicts are just the beginning. The Bible speaks of a final war called Armageddon, where the nations of the earth will gather to fight against God. This event, described in Revelation 16 verse 16, will be the climax of humanity's rebellion before divine intervention. 3. Revival and the Great Apostasy. While the world heads toward chaos, the Bible also promises a spiritual revival in the last days. Joel 2 verses 28 to 29 says that God will pour out His Spirit on all flesh, and many will have dreams and visions. However, this revival will be accompanied by a great apostasy, 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 3, as many will turn away from true faith, listening instead to deceptive doctrines. 4. Intensification of natural disasters. Earthquakes, famines, plagues, and signs in the heavens are mentioned in Luke 21 verse 11 as harbingers of the end. Science confirms that natural disasters are increasing in frequency and magnitude, and many believe this is directly tied to the fulfillment of prophecies. Additionally, Jesus stated that these events would be like birth pains, growing in intensity as we approach the end. A new world order and the prophetic year 2030. Many biblical scholars suggest that 2030 could be a significant marker in the prophetic timeline. This year will mark 2,000 years since the start of Christ's ministry, depending on how we interpret the calendar. Furthermore, global organizations like the UN have set goals to transform the world by 2030, including initiatives to unify economic and social systems. Could this be the foundation for the Antichrist system described in Revelation? The Great Tribulation and the return of Christ. The darkest period in humanity's history, known as the Great Tribulation, will last 7 years, according to Daniel 9 verse 27 and Revelation 7 verse 14. This will be a time of unprecedented suffering, where plagues, wars, and catastrophes will devastate the world. However, it is during this time that hope will shine brightest. Jesus will return to defeat evil and establish his eternal kingdom. Revelation 19 verses 11 to 16 describes this triumphant return, where Christ comes riding on a white horse, with eyes like flames of fire and a sword coming from his mouth. He will be the King of kings and Lord of lords, bringing justice and peace. The glorious future, a new heaven and a new earth. After the final judgment, God will create a new heaven and a new earth, as described in Revelation 21 verses 1 to 4. There will be no more tears, death, or suffering. The New Jerusalem, the celestial city, will be the eternal dwelling place of the saints, where God will dwell with his people forever. What do you think of these revelations? Could we be closer than we imagine to the fulfillment of these prophecies? If you haven't yet subscribed to the Biblical Tales and Prayers channel, do so now. Together, we will dive deeper into these truths and prepare for what is to come. The answer to the initial question is clear. The Bible not only describes the future, but also calls us to be ready. The most important thing is not knowing when these things will happen, but ensuring we stand firm in faith to face whatever lies ahead. Are you prepared?